time by Sparrow, and the circus is on.
What's up, YouTube? It's Saturday night. You tuned to Ty's Life. I'm about to be reacting to the day Larry Bird showed Manute Bol who was boss. Yeah, about to get into the video. It should be interesting. Manute Bol seemed like one of those how they call it nowadays, unicorns. One of those players that were like really tall. He was like 7'4", 7'5", I think. Could shoot the ball. Could block, obviously, play defense, had long arms. Yeah, so we're about to get into it. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, let's go.
The date was January 27, 1988. The Boston Celtics were at home in the Garden, hosting a Bullets team that brought size, scoring, and one of the most unique defenders the league had ever seen. Future Hall of Famer Moses Malone anchored the front court, while Jeff Malone handled scoring on the perimeter. But off the bench came someone who seemed like he belonged in another dimension entirely, Manute Bol. At 7 feet 7 inches with an 8-foot wingspan, Bol didn't play traditional defense. He erased angles. He warped spacing. And when he finally stepped on the court in the second quarter, he became the center of attention. But this script isn't about how tall Manute Bol was. It's about what happened when he tried to challenge Larry Bird, because Bird had already done his damage before Bol ever checked in. And when the two finally shared the floor, the matchup became something else entirely. It was length versus timing, height versus touch, instinct versus reach. Bird didn't blink. This isn't a game of back and forth highlights. It's a study in patience, confidence, and problem solving. Bird didn't just attack defenders, he dismantled them. And even when the most intimidating shot blocker in the league stood in front of him, he didn't adjust who he was. Because on this night, it didn't matter how tall the challenge was. Larry Bird was going to show exactly who was in control. Boston opened the game with their offense running exactly the way it was designed through movement, timing, and the hands of Larry Bird. On the first possession, Bird curled off a screen set by Robert Parrish. As the defense followed Bird, Parrish sealed his defender perfectly. Bird received the ball in stride, but didn't even glance at the basket. He immediately fired a sharp bounce pass inside, allowing Parrish to go straight up for a clean dunk. It was the kind of quick decision that didn't show up in highlight reels, but set the tone for what was coming. Shortly after, Bird made another impact play, not with finesse, but with anticipation. Moses Malone was trying to keep a loose ball in play, but Bird was already there. He reached in, took the ball right out of Malone's hands, and scored a simple layup at the other end. It wasn't glamorous, but it was pure effort, and it gave the Celtics an early edge. Bird's rhythm began to build from there. On one play, he looked like he was about to use a screen, drawing his defender into a false step. Instead, he cut sharply back toward the elbow, caught the ball in stride, and knocked down a smooth jumper. One of the more difficult shots came soon after. Bird used a back screen as a decoy, nudged his defender off balance, and created just enough separation to get into a one-dribble pull-up. It was heavily contested and off balance, but Bird hit it cleanly, the ball barely brushing the rim. The timing was precise, and the shot selection left no room for doubt. On the break, he remained active. Boston pushed the ball in transition, and even though Bird was barely open, he caught a pass in motion and knocked down an off-balance jumper without hesitation. He was reading the game at a different pace than anyone else on the floor. Not long after, Bird slowed things down. He took a couple of dribbles, backed his defender into the paint, and used his body to create a soft fadeaway angle. He rose and hit the jumper going left, showing how comfortable he was scoring in every spot on the floor. By this point, he was 7 for 7 from the field, but Boston kept going to him. On one possession, Danny Ainge drew the defense in with a drive and kicked it to Bird waiting in the short corner. He caught it and fired immediately, knocking it down without needing to square up. The Celtics then fed him in the post again, and Bird used his height and touch to rise over the defender and knock it down, drawing a foul in the process and converting the free throw. Just before the quarter ended, Boston ran a
like watching Larry Bird get into his bag through their offense. It's kind of like very refreshing to watch because it's just pure basketball, like pure IQ, pure textbook basketball, like fundamentally sound basketball. even the sets they're running, the little sequences they're running, you can even see how Larry Bird kind of called a sequence when he put his arms out like this in the middle of the possession, went down to the baseline, got his pick, popped out, got into his shot, and then just rose up and shot it. Just pure fundamentals. Just I feel like you can learn a lot watching Boston Celtics back then, and just seeing them going through their sets and see how the NBA has evolved right now. And you know that teams are doing that right now. Even with Kobe Bryant was doing that a lot, like in the middle of possession or right before the possession. He'll either do his ISO, do his or call the triangle offense right before he's about to do it, get into his little sequences. It's not like a play, but it's like a sequence inside of like the situations in the game. Depends on the situations. You read the defense, and then you call the sequence, and then you execute. So yeah, it's cool to watch. And yeah, I guess we're about to see what he does when Manute Bol gets on the court, because like going against a 7'7" guy with long arms, it's a challenge. I don't care if he comes off the bench. It's a challenge for sure. So yeah, we about to see.
Executed curl set. Bird looped around the screen, caught the ball in stride, and finished at the rim. He ended the quarter with a perfect 10 for 10 shooting line, 2 made free throws,
Wow.
22 points. Every
Very
shot
efficient.
looked different, but the result was the same Larry Bird in full command, playing with a level of confidence and control few players in the game have ever matched. As the second quarter got underway, it marked the first time Manute Bol stepped onto the floor. The 7'7" shot-blocking phenom was entering the game off the bench, and all eyes were immediately drawn to him. Just by standing in the paint, he altered the way Boston approached the rim. On one of the early possessions, he forced hesitation simply by being in position. Artis Gilmore looked to go up strong, but paused just long enough for the officials to call a 3-second violation. It wasn't a block. It didn't need to be. Manute's size was enough to start shifting decisions on the floor. But while Bol's impact was being felt defensively, Larry Bird was still in rhythm offensively. On one possession, he set a solid screen for Robert Parrish and instantly recognized the opening left behind. As Parrish rolled, Bird popped out, caught the pass in rhythm, and hit the jumper before the defense could recover. It was textbook execution, anticipation, awareness, and poise. The Celtics then ran a familiar floppy set. Bird
100%.
drove off the screen, gathered the ball in motion, and floated in a soft, one-footed jumper from mid-range. His balance, even in motion, never wavered. It was another clean make. Later in the quarter, his defender gave him just a sliver of space on the catch near the perimeter.
That's all he needs.
Didn't hesitate. Even with a foot on the line, he rose up and let it go, draining another shot with full confidence. Moments after, he found himself in the low post, being guarded by a smaller man. No fakes, no wasted movement, just a turn
and pull up. Yep,
and a
turn and rise up.
Fell softly through. At the half, Bird had already piled up 32 points, and though Manute Bol was starting to make his presence known, there was no slowing Bird down just yet. The third quarter continued with Boston riding the hot hand. On a familiar floppy set, Bird curled around a screen set by Parrish, and with his defender caught just a step behind, he rose up from the short corner and knocked down the jumper in rhythm. It was a shot he'd hit countless times before, and this one was no different, pure and confident. Washington looked for a response inside, and it was Manute Bol making his presence felt again. On one sequence, he held his ground as Kevin McHale tried to work his way into a shot near the rim. Bol's length forced McHale into an awkward release, and the ball clanked off the iron. His defensive awareness didn't go unnoticed, though later in the quarter, he was whistled for an illegal defense, caught lingering too far from his man in the paint. Meanwhile, Bird kept going, posting up Jeff Malone, who gave up both height and strength. Bird pivoted cleanly to the middle, absorbed the bump as he fell forward, and still managed to make the shot for the and one. The Celtics kept pushing the pace after a stop, and it was Bird again who made the next big play. Stripping Jeff Malone clean near half court, Bird raced ahead in transition. Kevin McHale found him in stride, and despite Bol rotating late to contest the finish, Bird laid it in with a soft touch off the glass. Bird's next moment was a quick jab and fire. With his defender giving him just enough space, he didn't hesitate. He rose, released, and buried yet another jumper. By the end of the quarter, Bird was still the most...
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. We know how Bird gets in his offense. He's going through the motions. It's second nature to him. It's just like, okay, get to the spot, raise up. If it's not there, spin off the defender, or take one step, or take a couple dribbles, get into the key, and do his fader. All of that, and then get to the post, do a spin around jumper if it's a smaller guy. All of that. Get into the fast break, finish hard, but like do a scoop layup when you get to the rim, so the defenders, it's hard for the defender to get to it. That's what he did over Manute Bol, but we're not really seeing much from Manute Bol though. I don't know if there's other highlights. You could tell. I think maybe this video, the concept of it is like he had to go against a defender that is like not normal. You don't go against a guy. I'm gonna assume his wingspan is like 8 foot. Let's like it's 8 foot. It's probably crazier. I don't even want to know. Shoot, I don't even know. It could be 9 foot. I don't know. But to go against that, I could see how that's tough. But I mean, I guess he's just making a video, but I don't see much plays of Larry Bird going against like Manute Bol, like having to maneuver around him, score around him, and it seems like he's just going against whoever's guarding him. Manute Bol's not guarding him. If it was like a video with Kevin McHale going against Manute Bol, it probably would make more sense. But I thought like they had to put Bird on him or on the help defense. He would get to Manute Bol and it'll be tough, and you'd have to make tough shots, like shoot over him, like what Kobe would be doing when he plays against tall and lanky defenders. Like I thought it was gonna be like that, but I mean, we'll see. It's like 6 minutes and 49 seconds in, and I didn't really see much of Manute Bol. But yeah, Larry's Larry. Is still, I still enjoyed the video. I'm just trying to understand the actual concept of the video, or is he just using Manute Bol's name to get clicks because he's like a unicorn back then? He's like a tall player that could shoot the basketball. He's just extremely unique. He's one of those players that are like very good, and coaches don't know how to use those players when they're that talented at that stature. It's just like it's out of this world. They're like an alien to coaches. Even his son Bol, he is a great player, probably could be one of the best players in the NBA right now, but coaches don't know how to use him. He's very skilled at 6'4" or something like that. So, but I feel like I would have enjoyed it more if they show more clips, or even if maybe there wasn't like enough clips in the game for him to even show it. But well, let me know what you think.
Post player on the floor, and Ball remained the lone bright spot on defense for Washington, making every possession just a bit harder. The fourth quarter opened
Showed the
with
same
the
clip.
Celtics looking to close things out behind their undisputed leader. On a routine possession, Bird caught the ball in the corner with both feet just inside the three-point line. There was no wasted motion. He rose up immediately, and as the shot dropped through the net, the numbers told the story. Bird now had 44 points, more than the rest of his team combined. It wasn't just scoring. It was the control and conviction behind every shot, but the Bullets weren't ready to concede. Just moments later, Darren Day made a drive to the rim, only to be met by Manute Bol under the basket. Bol timed his jump perfectly, sending the layup attempt flying off target. The block ignited a fast break, and Jeff Malone finished at the other end, trimming the gap and injecting life into Washington's bench. Back on the other end, Boston ran a familiar action. Bird curled off a screen from Robert Parrish, and the moment two defenders jumped toward him expecting the shot, Bird dropped a perfect pass down low. Parrish took care of the rest with an easy finish. Once again a product of Bird's vision and understanding of defensive reactions. Ball wasn't done. On the next trip, Parrish found himself with a bit of space and pulled up for a jumper, but Bol got just enough of it to alter its flight. Later, he made an even bolder statement, rising to meet Parrish at the rim and cleanly rejecting a dunk attempt. It was one of Bol's most impressive plays of the night. With under 2 minutes remaining, the Celtics looked again to Bird. Matched up against Bernard King, he spun toward the paint and was immediately grabbed as he rose. The foul sent him to the line, where he
How do you even know
both shots.
Bernard King played for the Bullets?
Final contribution. Fouled on a defensive rebound, he went to the line and confidently knocked down both free throws with just 40 seconds left. cutting the lead to 2 and giving the Bullets a chance. But in the final moments, Boston held firm. The Celtics would go on to win 106-100, with Bird's brilliance and Bol's late resistance shaping the dramatic conclusion. By the final buzzer, it was clear this game had turned into something more than just another regular season matchup. Larry Bird had reminded everyone why his prime wasn't just great, it was generational. And even with the towering presence of Manute Bol altering shots and grabbing attention in the second half, there was no doubt who truly dictated the night. On this floor, against this lineup, Larry Bird showed exactly what it meant to be the boss.
Okay, I mean, I get it. I understand. I understand the concept of the video now. Like, okay, he's just trying to say that there was a guy on that team that was just out of this world, and players have to get around him. It's just like one of those like obstacles you got to get around because it's very awkward to play on the court with someone that's 7'7", someone with that wingspan. But it didn't throw Larry Bird off in any way. I don't think it really even like. I don't even think he had a thought in his mind. Oh, Bol's around, or I said Bol. That's his son. Manute Bol's around. I gotta fix my shot. I gotta finish differently. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there was one possession on the fast break where he had to like try to get to the spot or finish more so like aggressive finish, I guess, to get the ball to the rim and score fast enough before he gets his hands or his lankiness to the basketball. I don't know, but yeah, I don't think there was much of a Manute Bol versus Larry Bird. Manute Bol added pressure to Larry Bird's game. It didn't happen like that. I don't think so. Like, you have Moses Malone, you have Bernard King on that team. What did they do? What did Manute Bol have in that game? How many points did he have? How many blocks did he have? It seemed like he had like one block, and then the other ones were like he was stopping defenders. But like, honestly, all in all, I think it was his supporting cast that Manute Bol was giving problems. I don't think it was Larry Bird at all. Like, he didn't even see Larry Bird. Most of the clips I saw, if Larry Bird did see him, and he had to close out a bunch of times, Larry Bird had to shoot over him, it should have been in the video, but I didn't see it. So yeah, but that was okay video. I mean, I don't know. I guess I feel like he just put Manute Bol's face up there because it's like everybody knows Manute Bol. He's someone in history of basketball that you would know based off of just his stature and what he brought to the game and how skilled he was. But I feel like it's just the history tells itself, like, or the history plays out like this plays out in any generation. Like, is this a tall, lanky guy that's super skilled that a coach doesn't know how to use him, and he doesn't really get minutes? He uses him at the end of the game. You think he could put him at the end of the game to throw something off, like a secret weapon, but you really don't even have him in your offense like that to even make an impact. He's just gonna derail some players and make them shoot tough shots and uncomfortable shots, but it's like you're not really using them right. Same thing with his son. They're not using him right. He's probably one of the most skilled guys at that size to like ever touch a basketball, I believe, but they don't use him at all. Like, there's talent wasted, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's one of those situations, like talent wasted, and it's kind of annoying watching this video. It's like, oh, Larry Bird against Manute Bol, but it's like, no, they're not even using the man. Like, yeah, why do you have a 7'7" guy that can shoot the ball and play defense like that come off the bench in the second quarter? Like, come on now. But it's like, we saw the ending. They put him in the game, he played, but I didn't see much clips of him trying to like stopping Larry Bird at all. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, it wasn't like Larry Bird didn't even see him through the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If this video, if you understand the concept of this video. I kind of do, but it's like, it seems like the video is more of like a clickbait type of thing. But I don't want to talk bad on someone's channel. But like, yeah, it's a little crazy. Yeah, I got some like new information. I guess Bernard King and Mo Malone play on the same team, and Manute Bol. The record wasn't very good. They weren't really a good team. So 16-22, I think that's what the record was. But yeah, but it was still good watching Larry Bird get into his bag, get to his mid range, get to his post up, his finishing, and just seeing him work throughout the offense and get sequences, and call sequences in the middle of a possession. Say, oh, we're gonna stop here. You're gonna give me a pick. I'm gonna crawl down and pop up and get the shot mid range. It's just that easy, just fluid, just pure basketball. So yeah, that was nice to watch Larry Bird go to work, and then I guess see Manute Bol derail some shots and make people uncomfortable in the key. So yeah. I'm gonna say a prayer in the name of Jesus. Whoever is watching this video, bless them from the crown of their head to the soles of their feet. Allow them to be strong individuals, 100% strong individuals, no matter what the enemy puts in their life. The devil knows he cannot stop you. He cannot stop you from getting to your goals. He cannot stop you from having the best possible relationship with God. But he tries to manipulate your mind and get into your mind, and he wants you to self-sabotage. Don't self-sabotage. If there's thoughts that are going in your mind that says you're not good enough, you're not gonna, this isn't, why are you doing this? This is not worth your time. You're probably gonna fail anyways. If you have thoughts like that, those thoughts are not your thoughts. Those are thoughts of the devil, of the enemy, try to get into your mind, and God is allowing to happen to test you. Do you really believe in me, or are you gonna listen to those dark thoughts that are not actually thoughts that you want in your mind? This is the opposition trying to get into your mind. You're supposed to say, I rebuke that. I rebuke that. I rebuke it. Resist the devil, and he will flee. Therefore, submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee. That's the scripture. That is literally in the Bible. So you have to really understand that you have to resist those thoughts, those negative thoughts. Don't pay any mind to it. Ignore it. And then replace it with good thoughts. Replace it with thoughts like, I'm going to lean on God and everything is going to work out. God's got me. Tell yourself, God's got me. God has got me. God always has me. He's always going to be who he is, no matter what the situation is. So yeah, you have to have that mindset. You have to have the faith, and everything will fall into place. So in the name of Jesus, I pray. I bless everybody that's watching this video. Amen. So stay blessed, stay lit, and I'm out.